Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, May 18th edition of our video devotionals, and we appreciate you being with us today. Hope your Friday is going well. It is the end of another work week and school week once again, and here we've got the weekend and Sunday, of course. So that being said, we're already past the halfway point of the month of May, and so that's amazing, isn't it, how time flies, as we say. But you know what? Make the best of every day as best you can, and hopefully these devotions will help do that. All right, so we do want to say this. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for the comments, the acknowledgments of watching. We want to say that each time, and we do appreciate you. And then, of course, for us this week, we begin our revival on Sunday, so that's just 2 days away now. And we're asking you to pray that you would use our speaker, Brother Tony Finney. He's from Conestee, South Carolina, and he pastored, I'm guessing, right at about 40 years. And maybe longer than that, but I know at the location where he came from, where he retired, he was, I believe, there 30-some years. And then, of course, he's been an evangelist, preaching many places, stays busy. And he was very busy as a pastor preaching outside the pulpit. So that being said, a seasoned man of God. So pray for him if you will. Pray for our church. Sunday, we'll do in-house singing from our choir and our groups and that sort of thing. And then on a Monday and Tuesday, we'll have special singers that will come from the area, and some a little bit outside the area. But that being said, just pray for our revival. Pray that anyone that shows up that could be there that's lost. You know, there's people that attend church on a regular basis. Some of those folks aren't saved, so maybe something that the Brother Tony says, God will use that to help someone be saved, whether they're churched or unchurched. And then, of course, the intent usually of revivals, get God's people revived, get them in a position where we can serve and serve right and all of that. So pray for our revival, if you will, okay? All right, well, let's jump into this. We're going to be, this will be the last of the book of Ezra. But Ezra chapter 8, we're going to look at 3 verses 21, 22, and 23. We think this will be of some help to you, and we're going to read it and see if it will be, okay? All right, so Ezra chapter 8, verse 21 says, "Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones and for all our substance." Verse 22, "For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, The hand of our God is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him." Then the last verse, verse 23, "So we fasted and besought our God for this, and he was entreated of us." All right, going back to verse 21 just quickly here, fasting. That's something that the flesh doesn't like. Now, I love to eat. I love to eat, and I've got to be careful that I don't eat too much because of my desire to eat. But there's times where I say, Lord, then I'm going to take this meal and not fast. And there's many ways to fast besides not eating a meal. But the point is fasting does and is a method, if you please, a mode of telling yourself, I'm going to say no to myself, and I'm going to get a hold of God on behalf of someone or something. And so here Ezra proclaims this fast, and that's something that I think we ought to do when I say regular basis. It may not be every week, but I think for people and for things that goes on, then the fasting is very appropriate. Again, it's not necessarily only about not eating for a period of time, but there's things that you may do on a regular basis that you don't have to do, that you can say, I'm not going to do this for a season of time, whatever it might be, so that I can fast and pray and get a hold of God. So there's that. And then verse 22 is interesting. Here's basically what Ezra was saying. He says, look, and I'll say this kind of in a general way. He says, look, we tell people God's going to take care of us, so I'd be ashamed to say God's going to take care of us. Now we need all your help. That's kind of what he was saying. So I don't want to ask the king, we need help from you, when I've told him God's going to help us. So have you ever said, I trust in the Lord and God's going to help me? Well, you know what? The truth is, do we believe that or not? And there's sometimes I think we may say that, and then we act as if that's never going to happen or not going to happen. And then we try to get outside help instead of getting that help from God. Now, I know God uses outside help. I get that. And God can do that, and that's wonderful. That may be one of the ways he answers the prayer itself. But I know this, in Ezra's case, he's saying, we told people God's going to take care of us. We're not going to ask for the help. God did take care of us, and there's that. I think that's an important principle here. And then, of course, it says there, when they fasted and besought our God, then he was entreated of us. There you go. So you want God to answer the prayer one way or another, whether he directly does without any intervention of anybody else, or he simply says, I'll use some people, I'll use whatever, and make what needs to happen. So that's good for us, I think, on this Friday. So I hope you have a great day, safe day, healthy day. Of course, we'll have the weekend to Sunday. On Monday, it is possible Monday, because with our guest speaker being here, I may not have devotions on Monday or Tuesday. That's a possibility because maybe the time I need to spend, so I can't guarantee you Monday and Tuesday will be up with these devotions, but there's a good chance it will be. So we'll just see, right? All right, so thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.